Every time you were right there, you just needed that one play. You just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, I mean, I was really proud of the way these guys competed and fought and battled and, all the way through. We got down by double digits. We came back several times. That overtime, we had some plays around the basket we just couldn't finish. At some drives, we got downhill a little bit. Then certainly the fouling for us in that second half, was hurt us. But, again, I think there's things that we can clean up and get better from. But in terms of the effort and the way they competed and the way they tried to play the game, I mean, I thought they did everything they possibly could out there. And obviously they're a really good team and got a lot of respect for them. But certainly we gave ourselves an opportunity coming down the stretch there.
I mean, Billy DeMar was obviously stellar the entire game, but it seemed like what Milwaukee's going to do in close games those last couple minutes. They're going to lean on Giannis and his force. And that whole fourth quarter in the overtime. I mean, as a coach, what can you do? Just keep kind of trying to keep guys in front of him, build that wall?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a couple times where we got a little bit spread out, and like I talked about before the game, there was some driving gaps for him. It's tough. Patrick was trying to push his catches out because he was posting up on that elbow and trying to force him out a little bit further, and obviously he's long and he's strong. There was a couple where I don't even know if we could have got help there. He ripped so quickly. He just got into the paint, and we fouled him. But I'll go back and look at the tape. I thought our guys were there at times, and there was some other times that I think we could have probably done a better job.
Even when they're there, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things, Joe, to me, and it's a fine line because you got to throw your body in a play and you got to take a charge, right? But when you're not quite there and he's Euro-stepping, sometimes it's hard to get a body actually squared up in front of him, right? And then all of a sudden, then you foul him anyway. But yeah, I mean, I knew we talked about it at halftime. I think he only had taken 2 shots in the first half. You knew he was going to come out and be aggressive in that second half. And a lot of it, to your point, was, had the one play I wish we could have had back. I think Patrick was trying to pressure him a little bit just to slow him down. And Lopez came all the way into the backcourt. He got kind of a full head of steam on Vooch. But, yeah, I mean, they're hard plays to guard. They are. I mean, but I think our guys competed and did a good job. But certainly, we could have been better in certain areas, no question. But overall, I thought the guys fought, as best they could to try to keep them out of the paint.
Billy, Kobe was obviously very hot from 3. It looked like at the start of overtime, you were putting him and DeMar in pick and roll. Did they start playing him as a shooter because he was driving more in overtime than shooting from the?
Yeah, I think Kobe made some really good decisions. He got it going. They were very, very eager to get pressed up on him, and I thought it opened up some driving opportunities. We had some really good driving kicks that we just didn't finish the play, but Kobe, played a great game, made some timely shots. But I also think, too, when teams are pressuring him that high up, those contested shots are probably not great threes, right? And I give him a lot of credit for recognizing that and putting his head down and getting into it because he was in the paint a lot. And, if a team's taking something away, you got to look, for what else is available. And I thought he did a really good job. And, Joe mentioned DeMar, and besides the points, he's done that his whole entire career. It's just even the assists, I mean, it's hard to get that number of points and that number of assists. So we did a lot of good things, the way we played the game. Like I said, I think there's detailed things that we got to clean up and continue to get better at, I think, which we will. But it was good to see Kobe make some of the decisions in terms of getting downhill. But, we had some drives and plays around the basket. We just couldn't, we just didn't finish some plays. They were right there at the rim. I don't know what our numbers were at the rim, but I know there was some tough ones.
Was that your view of the overtime offense? Just the plays not being finished at the rim, or what did you see in overtime? Kind of dried up on you.
It did. They switched up matchups. They put Lopez, on Torrey, and then they ended up putting Giannis on Vooch to try to switch pick and rolls and do those things. We tried to get, as Casey mentioned, DeMar and Kobe in actions together, and then we put Patrick in some actions. Then we started running like double screens, with the guard to guard, and we kind of tried to space out their bigs. So we did. That's what we tried to do. I thought, the way they were switching, and generally when you're switching, you're taking away threes, so you got to create some penetration. And I thought when we did create some penetration, one, we had some finishes that we didn't quite finish, and then quite honestly, we had some possessions that were just not great quality possessions either, that needed to be better. But it almost got into both situations. Giannis was kind of getting it and just kind of putting his head down, and we certainly put them to the free throw line quite a bit. And I think when we got into the paint and the teeth of the defense, I'm not saying we got fouled. We just had some opportunities to finish that we didn't finish some of those, which would have been impactful. You have 3 plays at the rim there at the in the lane. You like to finish at least a couple of them, right? But there was also some possessions I thought we got bogged down a little bit because of the switching and their size and their physicality.